Okay, this is Monica with King's Titan Homestead, and today we're going to do a little something about Native American pottery, including pottery from south of the border. There was no border, so M. Alto 94. M. Alto is a Kumeyaay Pai potter from Southern California. And what's really cute about this little piece, even though it's just a little plainware, is I love the shape of it. It really has the Hookam Gila shoulder shape, which is really awesome. Right next to it is a Tarahumara or Rarumuri piece, and it was made by Chayo Madrid. Very rarely do any of the Tarahumara ever sign their works, so this one is pretty special, especially since it's also a double lobe, which makes it really unique. Sometimes it's really difficult to tell this pottery apart, as you can probably see. In the back here is a very simple Maricopa piece. Maricopa peaposh. And what's unique about this piece here? Well, other than it being made by Dorothea Son-Avery, and I love her scorpion logos, but when she polished it, so now this tan or buff is the original clay color, and then they add a red slip. But you can actually see her polishing streaks that were done in sections all down and along this vessel. Very simply painted, not very extravagant, made towards the end of Dorothea's pottery career. Not long after that, she kind of stopped making pottery. This piece here is really a great little piece. It is so sad that the handle is missing. It had a handle, as you can tell here, but this is Mojave, probably from right around the turn of the century, around 1900s, 1900, 1920 at the latest is my estimates. Very cute piece. Found this would be made by the Mojave people from over near Fort Yuma or Yuma, Mojave, all in that area. And then this piece here is also an early piece. I love the fire clouds, the micaceous, it just shines, it sparkles. Very cute piece. It's kind of got like a kiva design on it, but it too is missing its handle, which for its age, again, about that same time period, 1920s maybe at the latest, for its age, it is an absolutely remarkable piece. Some of the best potters of today are actually in Chihuahua, Mexico. This is one of the Mata Ortiz pieces, and this is a very unique oblong pot with a square rim, and it is just painted everywhere. Very awesome, very nice. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Stay there. And then also this piece here is another Mata Ortiz, and just look at how finely this is done. And this is kind of like a gourd shape birdhouse design, though I would not put this outside for birds to use. It's just basically for decoration. Check out the rabbits on the very tip top. And as with the previous pot, this one is also painted all the way around the bottom. To the left here is a great little Tohono piece. It is signed by Listo, and they use a turtle logo, which is awesome. And Dan loves it when people put the date on it, so you know when it was made. Listo, from what I've been told, studied under Michael Chiago, which is a very famous Tohono potter. Actually, painter, more famous for acrylic paints and stuff, not so much the pots. But this is a very great piece with all the feather designs on it. Then we're moving over to another, this is another Tohono O'odham piece, but probably from around the 1940s to 1960s, not signed. But one of the ways you can tell the difference between Papago and Maricopa pottery is the coloration. This is more of an orangish color with more fire clouds, whereas the Maricopa pottery tends to be a little bit redder. Now this one here has damage. It looks like somebody tried to hold flowers in it, cut flowers, and put water in it. That's what it looks like to me. The only other thing that this could be was maybe it was stored in a very humid location where some of the salt deposits inside of the clay might have popped out. But just, you know, it is a great, I mean, very well done, very finely executed, very fine lines. It is signed, but you can barely make out the signature on it. And as you can tell right there, the difference, it definitely looks like maybe salt pop-outs coming out of the clay. The clay source was maybe a little too salty, and the humidity level of storage might have caused it to have these issues. So yeah, and the price reflects the condition. The other pieces that I have on here, this is another Tohono O'odham Papago piece. They used to be called Papago prior to 1983. That was never their name. They've always called themselves Tohono O'odham, or which also translates to desert people. But this one is signed by Lena Albert. For anybody to ever sign their pottery in the Tohono O'odham, especially from this time period, I'm guessing probably around 1960s, they really didn't do it. They made a lot of pots, but didn't sign them. So to get one with a signature, so you're not just doing attributes, that's really great. And last but not least in this section here is another Maricopa pot. They also did black on buff or black on white. This one here is made by Kevin Stevens, and he is a friend of mine, which this is really funny because Kevin, I have my finger in your hole. This is a joke, personal joke. Dan and I went to visit Kevin at one of the trade shows he was set up at, little art festivals on the reservation, and he was mad because everybody was coming around to his seed jars and sticking their fingers in his hole, and he just did not like that. So that's just a kind of a joke between Kevin and I that I thought I'd share. Now, out of this group, I found a couple pieces that we're going to keep for now. This piece here is an Isleta candlestick, probably from around 1920s. And what's really cool, and the reason why Dan just loves it, is it's got a deer hoof effigy formation on the bottom of it. So it's probably going to stay in our collection for a little while, and maybe it'll be on display when everybody gets to see the collection. And then this one here in the, this is just a Tarahumara piece. Yes, it's funky. It's got like, I like to call those pineapple, not pineapple. They look like pineapples, don't they? I like to call them barrel-cactus fruits. That's what I like to call them, but they're probably pineapples. I don't know. Anyway, this is your typical Tarahumara piece with the red on brown. It's really hard to age these pieces, but what is really unique about this one, and the reason why I like it, is because it has a crack, probably from firing, and the potter or someone who had it prior to me filled the crack, stabilized the crack using a hair comb that they melted down. So this is like melted down plastic to stabilize this crack. Okay, so that's it. All of the vessels, pretty much, most of them, except for the last two that we showed you that I mentioned we're keeping, can be purchased on King's Titan Homestead's Etsy store. So run on over there and check out all the goods that we have available right now. We're going to be adding a lot of things because we have a lot of projects that we really need to get going, and we have a lot of collection things that are taking up space that it's time for us to share with you. And I hope that this video was educational for you and that you might have learned a little bit of something about collecting. a little extra note about pottery collecting. Basically, it's priced at, number one, the rarity, the uniqueness of the vessel, if the potter is deceased or alive, how the condition is, and how well the design is executed. Just all kinds of different things go into the pricing of them, and the market reflects that. So in order to figure out what pricing is, you basically run comps, comparative sales in other areas. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Bye.